Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to This Week in Bitcoin. Today is Groundhog Day, right? February the 2nd, 2018. Strong hands. Yeah, that's what this week's been all about, just testing us. Do you have a strong hand? How many of you have out there have asked about my strong hand this week? Did you sell, Adam? Should I sell, Adam? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do that? Those were the 80%ers. You 20%ers were like, dude, it's Groundhog Day. I'm going to go pet my groundhog outside, go see if it saw its shadow. Who cares about the price? I don't know what's going on with the price. 8,800, 7,700. That's how many groundhogs I have. I'm going to eat me some nice groundhog. Yes, none of this makes sense what I'm saying, but none of you panicking about the price makes any sense either. It's a freaking savings account. How many different ways can we talk about the price? Well, let's see. Let's see, because we've got guests from all over the world. Prayank is coming in from India. I don't know where he is. He'll be here soon, hopefully. But you know Vortex, and of course, you know Gabriel from Venezuela. They're going to give their take on this also. We were just talking like this offline. This is a totally laid back experience. I'm making up this entire thing as I go along. So before we get into all you weak-handed people who did silly things this week and asked silly questions, before we get into that, let's talk about real life, because if you were in Venezuela this entire time and your currency was getting super duper hyper inflated, you don't care how much Bitcoin's worth in dollars. You're doing great with your Bitcoin. So what is the real story in Venezuela with this petro cryptocurrency? Gabriel, take it over.
Yes, my friends, thank you very much for this opportunity again on this great show, which I love sharing with you and Vortex. Well, I will tell you, we have two sides of the story, all right? There's the side of the crypto enthusiast, which see this petro as something new, revolutionary, and maybe that can be something good. And we have the other side of the coin, which actually does not believe anything good will come out of this because of the history of the government. I think you guys know, and everybody knows, the situation of Venezuela. We have had this little problem with fiat. That is that the governments and the banks are able to print as much money as they want. There's no market cap. So we here live the actual nightmare of hyperinflation, like super high speed, like every day 20% lower, 30% lower, 20% lower. Every day it goes down, 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 the Bolivar down, down. So the guys that actually do know something about crypto and have their holdings on BTC, on whichever other cryptocurrency they like, they do get to breathe, they do get to live, and they do get to have enough means to live, because with the cryptocurrency they are protected, they are safe. So here in Venezuela now is a bigger revolution, because a month ago the president just said that, yeah, we're going to create this cryptocurrency, it's going to be called the petro, and then he hung off the phone, and then everybody was like, what, like screaming away, like, what is this, what's going on? So there's high expectations about what's going on with this petro.
All right, but they said there's a pre-sale. Is there can we get it?
Yeah, there's a pre-sale. They are going to try to solve three problems at the same time. Look, we have the problem of fiat, that the actual cash is being taken away to the border, and has been lost. There's no enough fiat. So something happened. A fork of the Bolivar happened. Very unbelievable, but it is. You can have digital bolivars in your bank, which you spend with your debit card, right? And you have like actual physical bolivars. So if you want to buy like 1 pound of sugar, right, and you want to pay with debit, you will have to pay 300,000 bolivars, which is like $1.50 around, right? But if you want to pay with bolívares in cash, it's gonna cost you 70,000. So it's less than 3 times. Okay. So you see, we have bolivar, which I call that like this cash, this actual fiat paper, right? And there's like digital bolivar, which is, and it's different. The worth is different, completely different. So it's 3 times more valuable. The bolivar is in actual cash because there's no pieces around there. It's so hard to find that is more valuable. So we have this big problem in Venezuela, and the government thinks they can solve this problem with this petro. Okay, one of these problems, the shortage of money, actual money. So they want to make everyone to be able to transfer crypto in the way of petro. You know, that's one problem. And the problem they want to try to solve is the hyperinflation itself, because they are going to give away this, not give away, sorry, they're going to, let's say, give this petros in exchange of bolivares sometime. At first, I heard it's going to be only crypto and hard currency like dollars, euros, and such. But then they are going to get as much fiat as they can, you know, and they're going to try to tie the value of the petro to the bolivar. So this petro will also have a third way of helping, which will be, you know, have you heard the news? You know, there's sanctions on Venezuela. You know, they cannot move their accounts. The government has got their accounts frozen. Can you imagine a whole country, you know, all the money of the country that's overseas that they received by selling oil, they cannot use it anymore? So now the government said, oh, okay, let's call it Eastern civilization. You don't want to let me use your dollars? Okay, don't worry. I have this. So this created this petro, all right, to circumvent the U.S. sanctions. So they want to try to kill 3 birds at the same time.
So here's the question.
At the same time, but actually the petro is not actually on the streets yet. Nobody has it yet. It doesn't actually exist yet. It's only the idea that's been flooding everywhere, all around the world, you know, giving FOMO, and giving FUD. So it's great. I think this is such a revolution, you know.
Well, Gabriel,
I don't know. Is
it going to work
go
out?
Ahead, please.
Is it going to work out? Is it going?
We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know. We have to see about that.
Okay.
Very sad. I'm sad. It's sad to say this, but you know, there has been corruption on the Venezuelan government. It has been proven publicly. Even the own government nowadays have been, you know, exposing to everyone, like, yeah, our people that were working on our state oil company, PDVSA, you know, they were actually, we just found out today they were stealing from us, you know, like the same employees, they were giving checks themselves, and like, you know, such like crazy madness. They stole billions of dollars, not millions, okay? Billions.
In the cryptocurrency community that you are a major part of in Venezuela, are people are people excited about the Bolivar? I mean, not the Bolivar, the petro. Do they think it could be useful? And are they planning on selling it on exchanges? If it really
I will call this is a difficult when you see the opportunity, but you don't think political. Okay, you may think, okay, petro can be great, but when you put on your political glasses, right, and you see that the government that has a lot of bad reputation is doing this because they completely messed up with fiat, and like they got in a fight with the United States and so on. So a lot of people that do know a lot about cryptos and Bitcoin, they do not trust it. A lot of people, but I must say there are a lot of enthusiasts within the Venezuelan cryptosphere that are just, you know, waiting to get a hold of the petro, you know, at least to get 1 or 2 or 100. I don't know how much you can get, but they really want to get some, because it might be a good step forward, you know, to improving the overall economy of Venezuela.
I want to tell everyone, you only get this kind of information here, so pound that like button. I mean, real on the street petro news. But I want to ask Vortex something about the Petro. Do you think people, if this thing gets loose and regular people all over the world can buy it, do you think people are going to buy it? Do you think this can, I mean, this can really help Venezuela? I mean, it's very interesting. If regular people outside of Venezuela can buy it, this could really prop them up some.
Yeah, this is actually very fascinating. You know, and first, let me just thank you, Gabriel, so much, man, for coming on the show. And you know, because there is risk. Yeah, there's absolute risk with this, you know, in addition, of course, to just the donation of time and everything. I mean, there is risk with this. So we thank you so much for being able to be on the ground and deliver this information. This is really, really important. So thank you so much, Gabriel. Absolutely fascinating information. Absolutely, man. You know, it's crypto has already changed Venezuela forever. It already has changed it. It will continue to change it absolutely from the inside out. It will. This is going to play out over decades, and this story will repeat across country after country after country. You know, we've already have stories of governments, the government in Venezuela putting miners in their main embassy, right? Like we have stories of them confiscating people's miners and then making them install it in their own government buildings and institutions. And so we understand with this type of thing happening, we understand that the government, you know, is probably not going to have the people's best interests at hand. Now, everybody from Venezuela is going to know this before the rest of the world, right? They're going to know this more so and be more familiar with this than the rest of the world. But, you know, still the government will have this story to tell, right? How it's going to solve all these problems, right? It's going to have all the benefits of things like Bitcoin and right, and all of these benefits. It's going to do all these cool things. It's the blockchain. It's going to save us all. Okay, they're going to sell this story to Venezuelans and to the people around the world. But I think, as Gabriel, you know, and many others well know, I don't think it's going to play out that well. I think what's going to happen is the same story that happens with every other altcoin on the market since 2013, right? Which is it gets that initial huge pump of excitement, but then eventually all the people in the know sell, and eventually it goes down, everybody else sells, and eventually goes back down to, you know, to almost nothing. Now, of course, nothing can go to zero. Nothing really goes to zero, but it will absolutely be not good, in my opinion, for Venezuela, because I think that's how the curve is going to play out. It's going to go pump and then go back down, and then people are going to get screwed again. So I just hope that there people like Gabriel on the ground can continue to help people and inform them that, look, this is a bit of a wolf in sheep's clothing. You know, they're trying to sell you something that is like Bitcoin, but it is not Bitcoin. This is really, really important. So I hope that, you know, that people are going to be wise to this, because really the people that they're going to sell this the most to is going to be Venezuelans, right? This is who they're going to try to really kind of pull the wool over the eyes the most. The rest of the world, you know, will play along and figure it out, but you guys are the ones that are going to be hurt the most if it fails. So I hope that you know, you guys have a strong hand with Bitcoin and continue to mine these alts for Bitcoin. And, you know, just one quick question, like I hear from a lot of people that are like, you know, Bitcoin is just the fees. They're too expensive. Bitcoin is just too expensive. It just can't help third world countries. But yet I hear stories like yours, Gabriel, and many others about how with one single ant miner, you can feed an entire family. And I hear stories of all of these other people who are mining altcoins and selling them for Bitcoin so that they can have Bitcoin as their store of value to save their family's wealth. So let me just ask you just a quick question. Like, do you believe that Bitcoin is helping people like this, despite the fees, despite the high price of Bitcoin? Can Bitcoin still help, even though at these high prices, like even though it's perceived as first world only right now? What is your opinion on this, and can it really help?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And it's a tricky one also, because here again, you may want to think of us in two different kinds of people, okay? Like the wealthy plus early adopters, and like the poor plus newbies, right? So when you mix that together, what do you get? The first big market in Venezuela used to be, and still is, I must say, peer-to-peer local Bitcoins, okay? What happens there? If you are a little guy, you cannot post a trade, okay? You're gonna have to have 0.1 Bitcoin, which is 10 million Satoshis, which is like 200 million bolivares, which is like a lot of money, okay? So right there, you cut off, like the little guy cannot really, you know, get a good rate, okay? On local Bitcoins, which is the biggest exchange, okay? What happens then? the little guy can only take what they're offering, you know, and it's a really bad rate. That's what they get. In other places, I must say, exchanges have been flourishing here in Venezuela. Now, after Monkey Coin launched, another exchanges launched. Actually, there's 3 more exchanges now. I will talk about later. But the thing is that, yes, the people can get help by Bitcoin by, you know, helping themselves away from hyperinflation. The rich guy is now super rich, and the little guy can get a little bit better. But what happens is that it doesn't really work for purchasing stuff, right? Here in Venezuela, at least Bitcoin at the moment, okay? Because if you are a little guy and you want to buy like a cell phone, right? And you're not gonna pay like 3 months salary for sending Bitcoin, okay? You're just not gonna do it. You may want to choose you will exchange it for Litecoin or for Ethereum or for Smart Cash or for whichever you like. But it's very hard to find people like actually trading stuff, goods for Bitcoin in Venezuela, other than using it online to store their bolívares, exchange them for Bitcoin, and then like a week later, if they need bolívares, they will sell a little bit of Bitcoin. No, they get an advantage. The little guy gets an advantage in centralized exchanges like Monkey Coin, because you don't have to have 10 million satoshis to make a post, to post a trade. You know, if you want to sell like 10 satoshis, you can sell at the price you want, no problem. Okay, and also Vortex, I wanted to say about what you were saying a little. I want to point out a little thing about Petro. What's new about this? It's something old dressed in a new dress, okay? Which is the creation of money, okay, itself. What is money? This we must ask ourselves. Money is, in all theory, debt, okay? It's just something that says that I owe you something. So what's the government in Venezuela doing, right? They don't have any more dollars, and they do need to get import stuff here, you know, like food and stuff. So what do? Their hands are tied. If they go and they want to sell treasury bonds of Venezuela or bonds for PDVSA, they're gonna get paid at 22% of face value. You know, 22%, 18%, maybe 25%. So if you get like $25 and you own $100, you know, that's a very heavy burden. So besides that, they're not even giving that anymore. So, you know, the big promoters of giving money to Venezuela, like in the past, you know, that will loan money, they do not that anymore. Okay. So what do we do in Venezuela? Now, the big idea is to create this crypto, and instead of drawing money from the big institutions like the FMI or the World Bank or whichever super huge institution, we want to get the money from the little guys. That's the idea, you know, from all exchanges of the world. There's billions and billions of dollars, which the Venezuelan government needs, and they will give you an IOU of oil written on blockchain, all right? So it can go wrong. It could go bad if they do it the bad way. We don't know, because it doesn't really exist yet. We have to wait at least, I will say, 20th of February. We're gonna get more news on how this Petro is gonna be, you know, sold and traded and implemented and so on and so forth. What I know at the moment is that they're gonna use Ethereum to create an ERC20 token to collect the money, all right? And then after that, I heard they're going to fork off Decred. They're gonna make a fork off of Decred, you know, to actually create the Petro. They're gonna fund it with the money they get on the ICO ERC20 token of Petro. You know,
wait, where did you hear this? Where did you hear this Decred part? I mean, that's a complexity. That is, I mean,
yeah, man.
Have they hired some real people to do this?
They hire, man. They have millions of dollars, man. They hire people, you know. I don't really know the developers. I think maybe one day I will meet them. I wish I could meet them, you know.
That's that's a serious thing you just said. You said they are forking off Decred.
Yeah,
that's what you just said. I mean, I've never heard that before about this Petro thing.
Yeah, man.
Do you have a good source for that information? Pretty good source?
Yeah, I have good source, but we do have to consider in this world of crypto is made up of FOMO and FUD. So this could be, in a cloud of FUD, and maybe we think it's gonna be Decred, and then maybe it's like different something else. This is the info I have at the moment. Well, I think it's legit. Yeah. But until the actual day that they say everything, let's say the 20th of February, we don't really know. We're just speculating on some very good sources, but we don't really know.
February 20th is going to be a big day, obviously. That is, if this rumor really comes out, if this is really true, that they're forking Decred, there's going to be a Decred pump. I don't know how the heck some dudes I don't know how the heck some dudes in the Venezuelan government found out about Decred. I mean, all you Decred freaks out there, if you somehow got in touch with the Venezuela government, then freaking pound that like button. I have no idea how you did such a thing. If this comes to fruition, you heard it here first. So, Gabriel, that's awesome. One thing that I wanted to point out that Vortex, before we get to Prayank, because Prayank is in the house right now, which is awesome. But something that Vortex said is that people will eventually get burnt in Venezuela by this Petro. And in theory, he is correct. But I do wonder, is the money printing so horrifying in Venezuela that this lame altcoin could actually, beat their hyperinflation? It probably could. It probably might. It might end up a better investment than hyperinflated bolivars. So you're talking about picking your poison almost, and this poison is going to be pumped up, especially if they really fork it off of Decred. It's going to be pumped up by all the 80%ers on the planet Earth. So
Venezuela has been picking up speed. Listen, on December, the president created the Superintendency of Cryptocurrency. And then like 4 days later, they created the National Registry for Miners. All right? Yeah. So things are moving fast, man. Things are moving so fast. Now there's 3 more exchanges in Venezuela. One is called Colibit, and the other one is called Mango Markets, and the other one is called Amigo, and the other one is called Crypto Buyer. And then actually we're having a meeting tomorrow, like in Caracas, and to discuss business on how to make things better here in Venezuela, how to help, how to give a hand, how to maybe we would right there, to give advice if they ask for it. We're all up for it, man. I think this is great. What's going on is just great.
Awesome. Well, let's move. We're going to talk about Venezuela later, because you gave us a bunch of links linked to below. All these guys' links are below, and you're going to have to talk about some of those links, because I don't even know what the heck I will. But for now, Prayank is in India. Prayank, can you hear me?
Hi, Prayank.
Prayank?
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Good. Welcome back to the show, man. You haven't been on the show since the summer. I think some people will remember you. You are a hardcore Bitcoin guy there in India. The news that came out of India this week, there was a video of a finance minister type of guy who was, kind of implying that it was illegal or not legal, or there was some confusion over it. It appears a lot of people in India started to sell their Bitcoin. Here's the question. What's really going on? Did this announcement help bring down the price of Bitcoin? And what are your thoughts? So give us your unique perspective on what's really going on in India.
Yes, the news actually affected the price on one of the exchanges. The price went low as low as $4,000, I think, for some minutes. But it wasn't exactly that the government decided it will be illegal to trade cryptocurrencies or crypto assets like Bitcoin and other altcoins. It was the
Oh, wait. Oh, you just went off.
Sorry.
It was the what? The miss what?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
You were just about to say
Okay.
it was the miss.
It was the misinformation which was spread by the mainstream media. So nothing has changed as far as the law is concerned in India with respect to Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. And from what I have heard from the people who are in government and the authorities, they don't want this to be the the Bitcoin or any other altcoin should be considered as a currency. They want this to be considered as an asset, and people can trade it. But I think they'll be bringing some new regulations for exchanges. That's it. Nothing is illegal and nothing has changed. It remains the same as far as the laws are concerned.
All right. Well, that is reassuring that you've cleared that up. But do you think all of this, since the price did drop there, do you think the people were affected? Do you think people are more scared to purchase Bitcoin there now or other cryptocurrencies?
Yes, people panicked that day for a moment, and not for a moment. I think for few hours. And as I said, on one of the exchange, that is Zebpay, uh, it's used mostly by the mainstream people in India. The price went low as $4,000 for few minutes. Then some of the people might have bought that dip, so it came back. So yes, people panicked. They sold the bottom, but I'm not sure if they did the right thing. And the news was false. Nothing has changed as far as law is concerned.
Very good. You're into Bitcoin, but since we last talked in July, do more people know about Bitcoin, and are more people speculating on altcoins now?
Yes, people have increased, and uh, I mean, after November, when the price was shooting of Bitcoin, uh, more people have entered into this space. But the sad part is most of them don't really understand the fundamentals and the real things about cryptocurrencies and cryptography, or what exactly is Bitcoin and why does it exist. So yes, there are some issues as far as understanding is concerned, and people don't invest. Uh, People invest without research. I mean, but yes, people have increased who are now investing or speculating on Bitcoin and other altcoins.
And what's your philosophy? Just buy Bitcoin, or do you buy altcoins also?
I trade in altcoins as well, like Monero, Ethereum, and all. But mainly for holding, I prefer Bitcoin.
Okay. It is. So for you, Bitcoin is about, preserving wealth, right? Or storing wealth.
Yes, storing wealth, and it is the only decentralized network which can offer you the freedom to transact without any issues. I can trust the security of Bitcoin network. I cannot trust any other network.
Yeah. And is the government, what else I've heard from India, I mean, they're really trying to keep track of the people who own Bitcoin. Do you get that too? That feeling that they're keeping track of this stuff for some reason? They want to know every single person that owns Bitcoin. And do you foresee them making cash harder to get, forcing people perhaps into their own digital currency one day?
Yes, it's quite natural. Governments and banks get involved in these kind of things for tax, so that they can get some money from the people who are profiting from trading in Bitcoins and altcoins. So some of the people in India have been served notices from the tax department, and other authorities based on the the things which they found in different exchanges in India.
Mm, mm, That's unfortunate. They're trying to track it, and the exchanges all give the information. Vortex, you have any questions about India for Prayank? Since it's a very rare opportunity here to talk to someone on the ground there, actually.
Well, it sure is nice to know that, across the world that the perception is the same, which is that Bitcoin is the reserve currency across the planet, and most of these other altcoins are, just used mostly for speculation to acquire and accumulate more Bitcoin. Now, it's still, we still love all of the innovation and the things that's going on, unprecedented amounts of innovation. But it's great to hear that that's the same across the world. As far as questions, you kind of answered my main ones, which is like, what are they really using over there? It's really unfortunate to see those tax notices served. The U.S. took a bit of a lighter touch approach, where with Coinbase, they only wanted to grab everybody with $20,000 and up that have purchased. But of course, that could change at any given time. And India, it seems, just went right for everybody. And so that's also interesting to see. And I would expect the same in most countries around the world where they have problems, where they have such strict capital controls. I would expect the same thing to happen. But that's the beauty about these decentralized exchanges. So I guess maybe that's a good question. Is there any talk about decentralized exchanges yet in India?
Decentralized exchanges like BitSquare, and there are some other exchanges as well, which are used by some of the people who are in crypto space from a long time. But I don't think many people are using those or crazy about the decentralized exchanges, or even understand the value of decentralized exchanges. But yes, the people who are in this space from a long time, they use decentralized exchanges more often.
Excellent. And what would you say is the #1 altcoin there? Has there been ICO speculation at all, or are there any pump and dumps that we should know about that are particular to India?
There are many ICO fans over here. I don't really keep a track of all the altcoins and ICOs, but I can assure you that there are many people who are crazy about the altcoins, like even the Ripple, Litecoin, and Monero, Ethereum, and all. But I'm not sure. There was even a survey which I had read, even in which 5 or 6 altcoins were mentioned as the top coins which people are interested in India. So it was Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, Ripple, Dogecoin, and there were 2 more. I don't remember the name.
Yeah, the usual. Okay, Vortex, you had a question.
Oh, just a couple of final points, which is just wanted to revisit the fact that you said that India is currently viewing it as an asset, not a currency. That's just going to be interesting across the world to see how everybody and how the governments and the various agencies around the governments view it. Because obviously in the U.S. it's very confusing. We have the IRS viewing it as a commodity, and then like FinCEN viewing it as a currency, and on and on and on. But just another really important point here is that that you said is that the mainstream media completely botched the news from India. So you said that the mainstream media, both in India and across the world, apparently botched that news pretty bad. And I just want to reiterate people that the mainstream media has continuously and will continue to fail the crypto world. So we just need to put less and less faith in these mainstream media sources, especially when they're talking about countries banning things, right? Because anything that comes to banning in crypto, we know that you can't do it, and a country cannot 100% ban cryptocurrency. So that was interesting. And then I just wanted to make, I guess, one final point, that this mainstream media, like over here in the US, I don't know if you guys saw that, but over here in the US on CNBC, they on public television for millions of viewers showed people how to buy Ripple at $3. And then showed them how to sell it at 75 cents. So again, this mainstream media is really, really bad, and it looks like it's not any better in India. And so I just wanted to remind people of that. And I guess one final point is that this really is an accumulation stage. This mainstream media, you better believe that it's not all accidental. you know, this is the accumulation stage. There are people with motivations to acquire as much Bitcoin as possible out there. So just keep that in mind, and everybody, you know, be safe out there, and try to find people and shows like Adam's show where you can get information from the people directly on the ground. Follow these people, follow these people's Twitter accounts, and watch shows like this.
Yeah, World Crypto Network, baby. Pound that like button, people, if you like this unique experience. And I just want to point out, you know, we're going to start talking about the price now. We've segued nicely because we talked about how in India the price really crashed. And I'm sure that didn't help the worldwide price. And I'm sure all the FUD about India didn't help the worldwide price. Because, again, everyone's always looking for the latest, this country banned Bitcoin news to just freak everyone out about. But one Bitcoin still equals one Bitcoin. That's what Vortex said earlier today. I did hear him say that. And that's all you guys got. You got to value your wealth in Bitcoin, people. That hasn't changed at all. Now, apparently, in terms of dollars, it looks like it got below 8,000. Now it's bounced. I don't know, man. I don't know. I was out buying fish at the fish market down here in Taipei. But don't think of it that way. It's like this has been a week of downers. So what? Think 2020, people. This is something I've repeated a million times, but still some people just don't get it. People don't understand what a savings account is. You don't just sell out your savings account. It's for savings. It's something you stash away. So you got to think of Bitcoin that way. And people are like, oh, Adam, it's easy for you to not sell your Bitcoin because you bought it for so cheap. No, dudes, you don't get it. It's my savings account. I didn't, you know, when I was a kid growing up and I had a savings account, I just didn't cash it out for the heck of it when, you know, Ronald Reagan or George Bush said something, okay? I held on to it till I got to college. I was saving it for college. You set a goal. So it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor or young or whatever. Don't buy, you know, before you buy Bitcoin, make sure you can afford it as a savings mechanism. How about that? Is that easy for everyone to understand? So let's talk about the price in terms of Venezuela. Gabriel, in Venezuela, did people care about this? That it has been, in terms of dollars, the price of Bitcoin has, you know, cut in half since Thanksgiving around. So are people talking about it? Are you concerned about it? Give us your opinion.
Yeah, of course. I must tell you that people really freak out when price drops. People freak out. They pull their heads. They pull their hairs like, oh my God, what's going on? Are we going to go poor again? What's happening? They call me all the time. Like, what do I do? Do I sell? Do I sell now? And I always tell them, like, you just wait. Don't sell nothing. Just hold on. Don't worry. It'll come back up. Don't worry. I tell them that. But the thing is that nowadays we have to face this reality that the crypto world has invaded all the world of every other aspect in life. So I think now there are big players, right, which will really like to get a hold of that crypto. So if you combine these three facts. Number one, the movement of the price of the Bitcoin behaves like a system of second order. You can Google that and you can understand and learn how it goes smooth and then goes all the way up all of a sudden, and then it has to correct itself and then goes down very quickly, and then it comes up again, and then it gets a new level. Okay, we older guys, we've been on this for a couple of years and more. We know this happens. These corrections are natural. When you see the Bitcoin going from 5,000, 7,000, and like 3 weeks later it's in 19,000, you know it's gonna come down. Come on, we've seen this many times, over and over again. So to people that are really do know what's going on, and they have a lot of money, they do short. They do not hold. They do short. Okay, they sell their Bitcoin as high as they can. They collect as many dollars as they can, and then they just sit and wait for shaky hands to drop their Bitcoins on the hands way, 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 way down. Okay, and then they get more Bitcoin. Okay, so what's going on? People get on board on the hysteria, FOMO of December, and like a bunch of newbies go on to Coinbase and buy like crazy. and then the big players come in, and then they sell, and then take their money, and then they take their Bitcoin. Okay, that's what happens. It's a crude and tough business. For newbies, it's very easy to lose money. Okay, so for newbies, you have to do like Adam says: you hold and you watch and you learn. Once you're older, wiser, and you have a lot more of Bitcoin, then you can do your plays. Okay, you can risk because it's a big risk. Short, you can short, you risk, and if you play right, then you have more Bitcoin, which is the ultimate goal. Okay, but it's a dangerous game. It's easy to get burned. Okay, yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
That was, it's a dangerous game. This is where the big boys play, people. I've said it before.
But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
but so just hold. I mean, the best approach to this game, the long-term winning strategy, is just to have that strong hand and to hold. Because if you have a weak hand, the people he described are going to be laughing all the way to the bank with your Bitcoin. But it won't be your Bitcoin anymore. It'll be their Bitcoin.
Your Bitcoin and your money also, because you bought it expensive and then you sold it cheap. You lost your money and your Bitcoin. So
so it's not careful. You hear all these guys online say, "Oh, it's so easy to trade," and that's a load.
It's not easy.
It's a load of nonsense.
I will tell you, I do run an exchange, and it's not easy to trade. You have to have nerves of steel and really, really hard balls to not to be scared. It's really hard business. Yeah,
it is. All right, but Vortex, you've been asked about the prices a million times. Give us some different take. Anything you want to say? Anything? I'm leaving up to you.
Well, let's start out with the obvious, people. Strong hand. 2020. Golden hold. This is what you need to do, people. This is the end goal. This is how you keep your Bitcoin. I know so many people that have lost their damn Bitcoin, because they've sold it too early. They thought it was going down. They panic sold. I know some people that panic sold, and it's really a shame. Despite all these things you tell them, despite getting them excited about Bitcoin in the first place, right? They just sell, not understanding that it is, in fact, a savings account. But we've had these dips. As everybody's already said, this is how Bitcoin works. We go up huge amounts of percent, hundreds of percent, and we drop 30 to 50% every time. Then we go up hundreds more, drop 30 to 50, then hundreds more, 30 to 50, over and over and over again. It's not going to stop. This is going to continue to go up for a while until we have the liquidity to where we just can't drop 50% anymore, which, some people speculate that it's going to be over 100,000 at that point before we can stop dropping at these 50% to these 50% levels. But again, we're going up hundreds of percent. And if you look at it on average, over time, Bitcoin has increased about 1% a day. If you held on to your Bitcoin from the very beginning, I mean, it hasn't overall averaging 1% increase a day. Like, that's amazing. That is insane. But of course, that will only come to the people that are holding. That will only come to the people that are buying on the dips. And that's the way it is. And so we were expecting this dip. We've been expecting this dip ever since 5,000 or so. After 5,000, after 7,500, every trader out there will tell you after 7,500, Bitcoin became very, very, very difficult to predict. It was basically craziness, just bonkers, as everybody has described. Everybody just going to Coinbase and clicking buy, buy, buy. From that point, it's been pretty difficult. Nobody could have called the top. Nobody knew how high we were going to go. But when the top was clearly in, we knew that we were going down. I mean, we had to, Tone was one of the loudest shouting it, that we have to retest 7,500. And a lot of people were giving him crap, and things like that. But look, this is what Bitcoin does. We had to retest that before we can go higher. And so we did, in fact, retest the 7,600. I mean, we might test it a couple more times. I mean, but I don't think we're going much below that. Of course, nobody knows. But again, this is January. So Bitcoin traditionally, it pops in the fall. It dips in the winter. It usually pops around the spring, dips in the summer, and then pops in the fall again. So these cycles have been with us for many years. And, it's all, everything is cycles again. And I'm fully expecting, nobody that I know in Bitcoin is worried, right? Only some of those early people only some of those late people late to the game that had the weak hands. Everybody else I know was not even worried in the slightest. All the same things that were going to happen this year in 2018 are going to still happen. We're still going to have the Lightning Network. We're still going to have ETFs. We're still going to have, all of this amazing other technologies are still going to be here. Nothing has changed. There are still developers working every day. They're going to continue to work, whether the price is 10,000 or 1,000. They're going to continue building this thing that they've been building for years and years and years. This is not stopping anytime soon, right? We have arrived at 2018. The information is out of the box. This is what's going to happen. The only difference now is how long will it take? Not if, but how long will it take for Bitcoin to reach 100,000?
Oh, you should take that positive outlook. Yeah, that's a real good outlook. I like that, people. Pound that like button. Prayank, are you concerned about the price at all? Have you, what's the story on your side of the world there in terms of price considerations and how you're thinking?
I think the weekly candle close will be important on Sunday. After 2 days. And today's daily candle will be as important as the weekly close, because we are like on the edge right now. We almost, I think, bounced from the 200 moving day average on the daily time frame. So I'm expecting, if that was not the bottom will be hit today. And I want the price to be above 10,500 before the weekly close. So let's see how it goes. The correction should be over by now. So I hope we get some volume, some crazy buy volume, which can take this price upwards. There's one more thing which is concerning right now, is there are not many cash buys. The game is only on the margin, and on Bitfinex, I think the long short ratio is not good at this moment. There are more number of the people who are long.
Dude,
the BTC,
There you go. The tone vase of freaking India there. I like that. Thank you for that information. I didn't know we were going to get a technical analysis, dude. That's cool, man. So you're not, this dude's a trader. He's doing it out there in India. But again, it's to get more and more Bitcoin. And that is the goal. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. And I want to thank Argatha Crypto in the super chat. He just sent €2. Don't trade, just buy Bitcoin. The best trader does that. Yeah, that's true. Tone Vase, he talks trading all day. He doesn't trade. He buys and holds. And then here we go. Close One sent $10. Pound that like button, he says. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you so much for the support in the super chat. We got a lot of live viewers here on this, I guess it's a Friday evening in the East Coast. Here it's Saturday morning in beautiful, rainy Taipei. Okay, so let's go. Gabriel, we're going to start to wrap up the show right now. You provided a lot of links in the link section below. I didn't even test to see what these links are. They could all be to Playboy magazine for all I know. Oh wait, that isn't even a nude magazine anymore, is it? Anyway, that's nothing anymore. But what's going on? What are these links? What's going on? Why did you share this stuff with the world? I'm very curious. You're muted. Unmute yourself. Yeah, there you go. Unmute. He just said a lot, but you couldn't hear.
As I was trying to say earlier, yeah, the movement in Venezuela is growing so much. I think I can call this the very first crypto nation, okay? Because we're going all in on crypto. Everyone, from the little guy to the rich guy to the government, everyone is going on board. So what we're doing now, I have these friends, all right? And they created this page called Crypto Guerreros, which is like warriors of crypto. That's what it means. And they help people how to get a hold on learning a lot about good advice about how to recognize signals, how to read the markets. how to buy, how to sell, how to be a trader. Even if you're gonna hold Bitcoin, but you can hold your Bitcoin and like trade altcoins if you want also. And there's a lot to be learned. So these guys, they're building a school first online, but they're gonna actually build a place, and it's gonna be growing a lot. And they have, you know, like their I have you their web page, which is called Crypto Guerreros, and we have you their Instagram. Also, you can contact them. Also, there they can speak Spanish and or English. And there's a lot of people here in Venezuela which are actually getting lessons from them. Like there's more than 100 students already signed in. And they started only in November. So like in 3 months, they already have 100 students, and it's growing up very good. I have also there, right there, I have the link to the, you know, the Monkey Coin Twitter. If you like to get in contact with me or with the company, or you want to do something with Venezuela, or you just want to know and get to know us, we are available over there. I got you also the site of my brother. It's called Crypto Surfer. His actual name is Miguel Mejias. His name is, his online name is Crypto Surfer, and he provides a lot of, you know, he's teaching people how to learn how to use the crypto. So what he's doing, he's giving away a lot of crypto to everyone that, you know, interacts with him. And basically, if you do a post about cryptocurrencies, in which post you teach the other people and you encourage people to learn how to do crypto, he will give you crypto. And we're introducing here in Venezuela this cryptocurrency, if you, I might say, it's called Smart Cash, which is very new. It's very easy to acquire, very cheap, you know, very fast, and it has a lot of functionalities which I like personally. They're gonna have like smart node, they're gonna have nodes. You're gonna do proof of stake also. You know, you can do proof of stake, your nodes, you can get your rewards. So I think the community here is getting a big flavor. You know, it's tasting for real the cryptocurrency, because every time we do an event, let's say last week, I did another event in which we gave prizes in crypto. It was a sports event about skateboarding. All right, this last week was the second one ever to hold in the world to give away prizes in crypto. And I've been getting contacts from other sports institutions and organizations here in Venezuela. They're calling me to sponsor them, and which we will do. We will give them smart cash to do sports and to spread the word about Bitcoin, about all the cryptocurrencies and all the usages that we can get out of it. So, man, this is just going to grow. It's going to keep growing. I'm confident 100% for sure. Venezuela is the first crypto nation ever, you know, everyone's going to be on board in just a few more months. Everyone's going to be holding Petro, holding Bitcoin, and holding whatever other altcoin that you like. Mining, the president instructed that every single district in this country has to have a mining power, has to have hashing power. Every single state, every single city. It's a decree from the government. They want everybody to mine. We already mine millions and millions of dollars. Venezuela is the most highest hashing power per capita in the world. You know what that means? Venezuela is already, the people of Venezuela are the highest investors into cryptocurrency, from Mexico all the way to Argentina. Venezuelan people, #1 investors in crypto. So I think there's a bright future, man. I'm confident this is gonna turn around, and you know, things are gonna get better and bigger. Yeah,
dude, I am looking. Yeah, I am looking forward to February 20th. And please, Gabriel and I are going to stay in touch. Obviously, we do stay in touch behind the scenes all the time. He's going to keep me updated. I definitely want him to keep me updated about this Decred rumor, because if that ends up being true and we just broke the story here, then we just broke one of the biggest stories of the whole darn year. Well, so far. I mean, that's the way cryptocurrency works. The biggest of the story of the year. There's a new biggest story of the year every month. It's amazing. Anyway, Prayank, I want you, the floor is yours. Please tell us anything that you want to say about India or anything, your unique perspective, because it's so rare that we actually hear from people from India here on YouTube that actually know about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So Priyanka, share your story of the week or anything you want to share.
Because you people were talking about buying and holding about the Bitcoin. I would like to mention one thing here. Peter Brandt mentioned on Twitter that holding is for idiots. I think that's what he mentioned on Twitter. So I don't think that's true, and he kind of compares Bitcoin with the stock market, and this is different here. And I don't think the people who are holding Bitcoin from last few months are going to regret anything. And the corrections are a part of market cycles. uh, Even if we go into a bear market from here for few months, I don't think that will be a problem for the people who are holding from last few months, who bought like at before 3000 or before 5000. uh, that's one of the thing. And as far as the technical analysis is concerned, most of the bigger time frames, we can see that the thing has been already oversold. So I think we might recover from here in 1 or 2 days, and everything will be okay. As far as the price is concerned, you should never panic sell because of mainstream media or anyone saying something on Twitter, or based on the things which you hear from different groups or anything. You should have this, and you should be here for the long term.
Exactly. Long-term thinking, ignore the crypto noise from the media, and Prayank is the tone vase of India. There is no doubt about it now. And you know what? There's like 1 billion people in India. So to be the tone vase of India is a pretty darn big call on my part. But and yeah, you know, sometimes Thomas over on the mothership, he needs a technical analysis guy. So he should just call Prayank and like get him on, man. We need some voices from all over the world. Prayank, by the way, what time is it right now where you are?
It's 6:30 in the morning.
So there's some dedication, people. There's some real I thank you, Prayank, for waking up so early this morning, for being on the show. Seriously, for giving everybody the unique perspective of what's going on there. This is the love of Bitcoin that people have, that they get up at all hours of the night or morning or whatever to be on shows like this. And I really appreciate it. And I hope all of you guys appreciate it out there. So we got Vortex he's got a lot to say here. Vortex, what's up?
So just a couple things, like I mostly agree with Priyank's technical analysis there, but you know, because we did bounce off the 200 moving day average, but I do think that we are going to retest that one more time before we go up again. It's just, you know, too perfect to come down to 76 and then shoot back up again. It's just a little bit too perfect. The markets don't work quite that perfectly usually. So I'm still expecting like one more 7,600 bounce, but I'm definitely not expecting anything below 76. Like, just absolutely not. They're just too many people in at this point. And next thing is, you know, you mentioned Gabriel mentioned the government decreeing, you know, mining centers, decreeing that people start mining, and like it's going to get really crazy because, you know, the New York Power Authority CEO in New York City, you know, the financial capital of the world, has recommended that the organization approve a request for cheap energy towards Bitcoin mining, you know, in the town of, I believe, Messina, I forget to pronounce that, in New York. So, I mean, this is huge. I think that the governments are going to eventually start like decreeing that people start mining, because it's going to become so important. It's going to become such an important utility once it's fully realized, that I would expect nothing less. This is absolutely as important or more important than electricity, right? Than running water almost. Like, this is really this is right up there with that, with the internet. You know, it's right up there with the internet for utility. And finally, I guess just check shameless plug. Check out my show this Sunday. I do the Bitcoin News Show every Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific. So we'd love to see you guys here. And thanks, Adam, so much for having me on the show.
Of course, man. Yeah, definitely. His show is rocking every Sunday on the World Crypto Network. And soon enough, I'll have my international show on there. Vortex and I have actually corresponded about that recently, but I didn't get back to him. And yeah, we're all busy. We're all super busy. And of course, you can check out this show and Vortex's show and all the World Crypto Network show on the World Crypto Network podcast channel, which is linked to below. Gabriel, you didn't have anything else to say, did you? I know you're posting some stuff on the chat. You're good? You're good to go? All right.
Okay, I'm okay. I'm just so glad to be sharing with you guys, with Prayank, with Vortex, with you. For me, it's always such an honor. You know, I always listen to you guys, and I get nurtured by what you say. Your words of wisdom are always there, and I am glad and thankful, so thankful that you guys do this job, you know, and teach not only me but everyone in the world. And you're giving this information that is so valuable. It's worth millions, what you guys say for free on YouTube. So the people that really listen can be reached really, really, really fast. If they listen to guys like Vortex, like Prayank, like Adam, you know, you guys rock. I'm so proud to be with you here. You know, this has been great. It's such a great show. It's an honor, you know. Yeah, man.
All right, dudes. He gave some good advice, people. Listen. Take some time to listen and pay attention when you're, you know, just, it doesn't count if you just turn on a show and then just chat all the time in the chat or whatever. Try to understand, and it's listening comprehension. Think about it, and you can gain so much from the people, you know, Tone Bays, Vortex, Thomas, me, whoever, you know, Gabriel, everybody, all the guests that are on this show. Just use it as a learning opportunity, a fun learning opportunity, because in the end of the day, the fun is financial fun. By 2020, you'll be loving life. So on that positive note, I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the notes section below. All the links that Gabriel mentioned are there. Prayank's links are there. Vortex's links are there. We do This Week in Bitcoin every Friday on this channel. I do my own show every day of the week. There's a new show every single day, so check it out. Bye-bye, everyone. I'll say hello to you in the chat. Pound that like button. All right.